All right, a very good evening to you. Thanks for joining us. It's another day in the life of humanity, another day in River State, Port Harcourt, Nigeria, and we're here with late night talk with Kofi Bartels. I must confess, the traffic gridlock in town and a lot of activities going on. I'm sure that some of you, getting home are tired. I personally got home tired, but I said that we just have to make sure that this program goes live today. So I'm very happy you're there with us. We have a guest. This is a big fish with us on the program this evening. Forget about the coronavirus you've seen around us on the screen. He doesn't have coronavirus, neither do I. But he is one of those that I respect a lot because of his love for humanity. He's one of those I respect a lot because of his love for humanity. And the first time I met this young man, he was doing what people are doing right now, which is trying to give palliatives, to those who are less privileged. He started doing it before coronavirus was even a thing in the world. I remember the first time he brought some packages to the office with Gary, and some other things, Maggie, rice, and said if we know any poor people who needed it, we should help them with it. And now everybody's trying to get on that train. GEORGEWILL, the founder of the Extra Step Initiative. Let's put our hands together for GEORGEWILL. He's here. You're welcome, sir. Nice to have you on the program today.
Thank you for having me.
All right. I can see that since this lockdown started, you've changed your frames. I have to steal that off you. Interesting. Your fans are watching right now, live on YouTube and especially on Facebook as well, where we have a lot of people watching us today. And in River State, we've been trying very hard to ensure that we do not get high incidences of the coronavirus like we have in other parts of the world and even in Lagos State and the FCT. Eugene, what's your take on how we in River State have done? I'm talking about government, I'm talking about civil society, the indigents, the residents, the citizens, since coronavirus came to Nigeria.
Well, considering when River State started, I think they've done well. Even though they didn't start on time because they didn't have a commissioner of health until the 1st of March.
Mm-hmm.
And since they brought Professor Chike on board, he's quite a professional, and he's tried to do that which he could do within the ambit of resources that are available. But one thing that civil society has done, they've been constant. The great guys, Ruby School and so on, and they even have a civil society surveillance group to see for rights abuses, and I think now at the center it has also been copied. So they've been constant. Then for the citizenry, for the elites, they've been very for the average person, they've been very cooperative. And the ordinary people on the street don't seem to want to appreciate the enormity of the problem which we currently face until government had to resort to direct enforcement. But one thing is quite clear. There's a little bit of partisanship that is creeping into the collaboration between the state and the federal government. Okay. And I think it's affecting everything that's happening.
Okay. So you're looking at the initial, Calverton helicopters matter, Mobile 282 and all that. How do you assess that dynamic, that relationship, or that episode? Do you think that the politics, won at the end of the day, or they were able to resolve the issues amicably, like they should, like leaders? Are you there, Eugene?
The matter should have been resolved in 24 hours.
Okay.
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Loud and clear, yes. Yes, I can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear.
I said the matter should have been resolved in less than 24 hours with a phone call. And if there was a protocol, it was the Calverton matter was a clear indication that there was no clear protocol that had been put in place between the Federal Ministry of Aviation and the states that host airports. Now, even when the incident happened, what I expected from the minister was to call the governor
Okay.
and that matter will have been resolved.
Okay.
Instead of resorting to social media. Yes, some people will complain about the approach of the governor. Yes, it might not be the finest of it, but as the man responsible for coordinating aviation, if I was his boss, I would order him, he should have approached the governor immediately and intervened. And there's no way he will have reached out to the governor that the governor will speak to him. Instead of them resorting to social media and wasting all that time and resources, and eventually, because whatever meetings that will have occurred will have created a framework for which all states that host airports will have adopted. Okay. So everything boils down to how things are being currently done. You will not resort to social media if you know that as your boss, I'll ask you that if you were in touch with the state governors, that incident shouldn't have happened.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. So I think we have some learning points from it. And instead of resorting to social media to the gallery, and it's better for them to call each other and resolve these issues. This is not the time for those kind of things. This is the time for action.
Okay.
Human lives are involved there.
Interesting. If you're watching us, you can drop your comments in the comment section on Facebook and YouTube. Eugene Abels, founder of the Extra Step Initiative, is with us this evening, this night, taking time out his busy schedule to join us. Based on the lockdown in parts of Port Harcourt, if you're watching this evening, what do you think about it? And what do you think about the River State approach to tackling the coronavirus? How do you assess it? Don't forget, River State has had a few number of positive tests, people confirmed positive with coronavirus compared to other states in Nigeria. And some would say River State isn't doing badly. But of course, we cannot say it's Uhuru for now. Eugene, preparation. We all knew what was coming. We all talked about it. We all knew that something could arise. We've looked at, this program, the federal government's preparation, before today. So as far as River State is concerned, what do you think, they got right? Let's start there. What do you think they got right as far as preparing for the coronavirus is concerned? And then what do you think could have been done better in terms of the preparative stage before this thing came into River State?
Well, there was no preparation because we were on radio shouting for close to 60 days.
Okay.
That there had to be a clear action plan. And that action plan should have emanated from a federal one, so that they have
All right, you're still listening to Late Night Talk with Kofi Bartels. We sincerely apologize for the loss of that conversation there. A bit of an issue, but we're getting back, and once we can get Eugene Abels back on the line, we will continue that video call with him. I sincerely apologize, the network issues that we've been having. But anyway, if you're watching, we'd like you to tell us what you think about the preparation for coronavirus in Nigeria. Just tell us what you think about that. The preparation for coronavirus in Nigeria. Do you think we've done it well? I think we have Eugene Abels back with us. So let's get back to that conversation. Mr. Abels, are you there? Okay, Mr. Abels is with us. Can you please... Okay. Loud and clear. Can you hear me, please? Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear. We can hear you.
Very well.
Okay. So, US didn't have any...
So we live?
We are live, yes. We're live. We're live, yes. So you're saying in River State we didn't have any preparation before...
Yes, I can.
Okay, great. So what could have been done? You talked about the fact that, those of you who had time to go on radio to share some ideas were in the media, for certain things to be done.
Hello?
Yeah. Can you hear me, Mr. Abels? Hello?
Yes, I can hear. So what I was saying was that they were doing catch-up, and by the stroke of fate, it paid off in the sense that the isolation centers came in, like the ones coordinated through Access Bank, donations from private individuals and so on, and community efforts. And I like what they've done with the attempt at sending palliatives to people. Yes, the next question will probably be, what do I think should be done next?
Yeah, well, before
at the federal and the state level.
Yeah.
Considering this kind of resources that we have, and seeing what has played out at the international level, we know that testing is key. So I would have expected that by now we should have invested. We should have built our own center for tests.
Okay.
Yes, we should have built like one or two.
Okay.
And yes, and begin to garrison areas. For me, my sound Ethiopian, I can garrison D-line with palliatives for you to collect. You must do a test, and once they have cleared they have the all clear signal. The people can begin to relate, open their business and go, but they won't let anybody to that area.
Okay.
Without their say so. So you bring in the community to buy into it, because Port Harcourt is in segments.
Yeah.
So you bring it to, so by the time you break down Port Harcourt and begin to, it might sound a bit utopian, but like it enables you to go ahead of what is happening. Because I find it absurd that so far, 60 days down the line, some states do not even have testing facilities like River State. And the federal government is not, I don't know what they're doing, that a key state like River State has not have a testing center approved or functional right here.
Okay, interesting. Very, very interesting points you've shared with us. What do you make of the? But before we go into what should be done now, you talked about the preparation and you said that it could have been better. You've also talked about palliatives, and you're commending the state government for what they've done as far as palliatives are concerned. Some people have said they do not see what's going on. They've not really received any palliatives. Some have said the palliatives that have been shared, in River State by the government, say no go anywhere. You no go reach anywhere. For instance, if someone gets a tuber of yam, gets a bag or half a bag of gari or rice, gets 3 packs or 4 packs or 5 packs of noodles, how long would it last that person? So what do you say about this? And if you could zoom the camera into your face a bit, that would be appreciated. Just a bit, draw it closer to your face a bit. So what do you say to these people that the palliatives really would not go far, in as much as we can commend the River State government led by Governor SES or Wike for what they have done, that say the palliatives not go reach anywhere? What do you say?
Because there was no plan, there was no savings for this. Don't forget the amount of money that have been put out there for projects. But particularly, yes, at the beginning of the year, and the amount of money the government had exposed themselves to. So we do not have data, so it cannot be perfect. And people will still complain. We're in a war situation, people will manage. There are lots of private efforts at people trying to meet people's needs. It cannot be ceteris paribus. All things can be equal. Yes, this is the time for, yes, we might have our misgivings with government and politicians, yes, but this is a time for everybody to manage. Let's just get out of this. Yes, let's just get out of this, and nobody's going to give you all the food that you need. Even if they give you, how do you store them? Yes, so let's just manage. People will complain. Yeah, like I made a post of I shared an information that the River State University is coming back online. They want to start online. Don't forget that about 2 weeks ago, I said it was a place that no Nigerian university was online, that's public. But you have let's deal with the reality which we face. It will be sinful for universities not to be learning at this time. People say, oh, did they have the infrastructure? I say, let them.
Yeah, I think it's a network issue. But if you're watching, keep your comments coming in. And while we see if we can get back to Eugene Wells, it's still Late Night Talk with Kofi Bartels. It's still Late Night Talk with Kofi Bartels. When I know as network, sometimes they do. So please just bear with us. We sincerely apologize for that. Okay, so my name is Kofi Bartels, by the way. And it's still the live stream on Facebook and YouTube. You can feel free. You can call me right now. 080-620-99556. I'd like to hear from you. So please feel free to call me right now. 080-620-99556. While we try to see if we can get Eugene Abels back. Okay.
So I'm saying that we should come down from the to those who manage research.
Okay, if you're watching us, we sincerely apologize. It happens, networks. Eugene, sorry about that. You were saying before we went on the break that people should stop having sort of a sense of, entitlement and expecting government to do everything for them. But right now, we live in a society where a lot of people in the villages can't afford to go to school. A lot of people can't talk less of buying, computerized devices to school to learn with, because let's not forget, apart from the universities, we have the post-primary and then the basic. So is it feasible when we hear that state university is going to go online? Those who come from indigent communities and families, how will they cope? Some of them are hardworking, but they don't just have the money.
You find a way to cope. The world will not wait for you. Yes, the world is not going to wait for you. If you are, how can you be in the university and you don't have a laptop, but you have a phone? Yes, I'm not talking of a brand new laptop. I'm talking about a second-hand laptop, which you can get for 40, 30K. Yeah, it might not be the best of it. Yeah, yes. It depends on what your priorities are. I'm not saying that there are not people who are struggling. I understand. We've all been through that. Yeah. Uh-huh. So while you're in university, what are your alternate sources of income? Yes, the things they might not be that fanciful. Yes, I do. As my father was a federal civil servant. My mother was an entrepreneur, but like at weekends I go to bake. Yes, and make some money for myself and to run errands for people and do things. Yeah. So when a situation, this is not a normal situation. Everybody has to find a way. Yes, if you have a handheld device, log on to your school. Obviously, everything will not be done on Zoom. They will create links where you can download the materials.
Yeah.
You download them and read. Yeah. So let's leave the complaints for now. We can complain as a form of feedback, but not. There's no entitlement now. It's over. The game is over. You can see the politicians are struggling. For the first time, they're mentally being taxed. Yes, there are cargoes of oil all over the world in vessels. Nobody's buying them.
So they have to think.
Yes, that's the next. Yes, that's the next level which we are going to go. There's no free money. There's no tax money. Nobody. All contracts are going to be called in on the basis of force majeure. So there's a new level of economic catastrophe that will occur after now. So it's not about people complain. So if schools are starting online, it is important that they find a way to manage. Yes.
Okay, all right. Saying students find a way to manage. If schools are starting online, you have to key in, and no room for complaint or excuses. We have messages coming in. I just want to read a couple of them. Chika High Star, good evening to you. Say you're following the conversation. We apologize for the initial issues. Network sometimes can be very funny, but thanks for being there. Juliet, Alex Mecha, good evening to you. Comrade Malgo Bright, good evening to you. Comrade CEO Fori, Bob Manuel, good evening to you. Thanks for your time. Inhuon Smart Brantley, good evening to you. Says Governor Wike means well for Rivers people. Blessing Tams Jumbo says, why is the governor of Rivers State giving you and your organization sleepless nights? No other issue for discussion, if not Wike, this Wike that. Please we are tired or change the topic. Okay, I don't think that's the way to go. You know, if I was in Lagos State, I'll be talking about what the Lagosians are doing. Don't you watch CNN? And we've been focusing on the federal government. We've been focusing on the federal government for a long time. Andrew, we've been focusing for a long time. So please,
yes, the spotlight is on him.
Please.
Yeah, right? Charity begins at home.
Yeah, it's here will be affected by the thing he becomes. But I mean, this is not to say he's not. If you feel he's doing great job, feel free to say that. You know, no bias here. Okay. Joseph Ini says all the places that have been blocked, it's affecting people. But what can we do? That's a good question. Juliet Alex Mecha says, I commend the governor for his timely approach towards the lockdown of Rivers State. For me, he did well. The only area I'm not comfortable with is a rumor of the security operatives allowing people to come into Rivers State after paying some amount of money to them. Like I mentioned earlier, if it is true, then this act should be checked. Otherwise, all the efforts put in place by the governor will be a waste of time and energy. Again, the aspect of the palliative, it says ... that the governor should look into that as well. So, Eugene, we're still on palliatives. We'll come to the boundaries of the state and what Juliet, thank you very much for your message. Eugene Abels, so talking about the palliatives, you've said, that the government has done well. Some people have claimed that
they're trying.
They're trying. Okay.
It's not perfect.
Some people have claimed that the palliatives are being shared on political party basis. However, the government and its those around government have been quick to say that's not true. I've seen some of the propaganda pictures online. People, even carrying bags with the APC and some other parties, maybe AAC, collecting this just to prove that it's not political. So, do you think that the palliative distribution could have been done better, or are we getting it right? Because you've been into something like this before now.
We're still into it. We're still doing a lot. I'm involved in various groups. We don't have data, so there's nothing more you can do beyond that. Let them just keep modeling through.
Mm.
Yes,
Okay.
we don't have data. If we had data, we know that Kofi is at number 10 and Kofi has 2 kids. We don't have data. So everything will be done. There'll be a level of wastage.
Mm-hmm.
For we for instance, I'm involved in the Reach project.
Mm-hmm.
In the Reach project, what we do, we
That's
go
the
two
Reach,
days.
the
If
Reach
we go
project.
a week, the Reach, yeah.
Okay, okay,
I'm
okay.
involved in that group. What we do, we engage the community before the time, and so that we go actually take numbers, find out how many people are there, and share tallies. The extent of the tallies, so that on the day of sharing, you just come like a bank and pick your bag and go. So
Wow.
that for purposes of social distance, so that you don't endanger people who have come to do good. And it takes a lot of work. 98% of that work is done before that. Now, even if it is shared on a partisan basis, the politicians know where their followers are. So if it is on partisan basis, it means that the sharing is adequate. But I think they are aware that the public spotlight is on them, and with the efficacy of social media, that you can see some of the wonderful pictures they've been posting.
Mm.
And I just pray it is actually so.
Mm.
Yeah, they
Mm.
look quite nice. I like the pictures because they name, like I saw the
You
one for Canada, they named the number of bags,
uh-huh.
the number of bags of Gary, bags of sacks, and so on. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it's for somebody, if I'm going to critique them, I need to see somebody from Canada to say, this didn't come here. You understand?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I think for now, because we don't have data and we don't have a database, let us just keep modeling through. This is not the time for politics.
That's all.
We need to keep people alive.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, let's say when it's a situation of war. Yeah. The disease does not know politics. It doesn't know political party. The hunger does not know political party.
Mm.
Yes, but God is watching everybody. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much, Eugene Abels. If you're watching, please drop your comments. We're looking at several issues. The fight against coronavirus in River State, and we've spent a lot of time looking at what's been happening at the federal level. Trust me, on this program, we spent a lot of time. We want to look at River State today. A lot of efforts have been made. No effort has been spared by the state government to ensure that River State is, not overwhelmed by the coronavirus. And a lot of people say that so far River State hasn't done well. Eugene Abels is founder of the organization known as the Extra Step Initiative. He's somebody who's been involved in reaching out to the poor in our society to try and ensure that they are carried along, in the scheme of things. And he's still doing that, involved in many organizations. I've lost count of what Eugene Abels has done, even to support those who have initiatives. I remember a young lady who was also telling us on one of our platforms how you helped, to get some money so she could mix hand sanitizers to give to the police. And so that's a great one. So Eugene Abels is a great, great, great guest to have talk about things like this. Talking about the palliatives, if you're listening, what do you think about the palliatives? What do you think about the lockdown in River State? What do you think about the shutdown of parts of Port Harcourt, the traffic? What do you think about our education setup in the light of what's been happening right now? River State University, they're going online. That's what the government is saying. You can call if you want to call as well. This is a number to call. If you're listening, please take this down. 080 620 99556 is the number to call. 080 620 99556. You want to talk to Eugene or myself? 080 620 99556. Eugene, someone called me from one of these places. I think it was Rumudara, sometime earlier in the month, and said that he passed by where they were trying to distribute some palliatives, and I think they're using the CDC and the chiefs and local community structures, and said people were struggling in the open. People were struggling. I remember the lady whose child died or something. That story that went viral because she left the house to go and collect, the palliative. And a bit of a fight. No social distancing. So, based on your experience with privately funded organizations like the Reach, which you mentioned, what would you suggest, or how would you suggest? I mean, I know you said we don't have data; it's not easy, but we can do better from what you're saying. What can the River State government add? Ambassador Akao, SSG, Tamil Dadago, they're doing a great job, trying to make sure that they get this thing working. But what else? What else can they do to ensure that, it works better?
I think they've taken care of that, because from the pictures I've seen, I've not witnessed any physically, and from the pictures I've seen, you find out that they've used the local structures to create order. And I think that they've also been able to segment, because I even saw where food was dedicated to elderly people.
Mm-hmm.
Elderly people are not politicians, meaning that somebody is that some extra work is going into it.
Okay.
Now, there's something that I told you about what we do in the Reach.
Yeah.
And that sometimes, the public, people are so insensitive. When you go to share food, they want to rush it and endanger the person who came to give it. And it's so unfair. But how do we do? That's why for the Rich, we decide, and even for City One Love, which is a Port Harcourt and based on all Port Harcourt people, we try to engage the communities at least 1 week before the time, so that if your name is not on that list, you don't have the tally, you're not going to get anything on that day. So that day, there's no name writing or anything. Yeah, so they'll be modeling through and perfecting this things. In the communities, those things are easy to handle, because they know everybody. If you're not part of the setup, you cannot go near there. They know how to sort out those kind of things. But if you say you're going to just drive from nowhere and go somewhere to share food, they are definitely going to mob you and endanger you, and you might regret doing that. So for you to share, for any group, whether government or private, some leg work must be done. 98% of it is that you must go before the day and sit down with the community people and agree on certain things. And it must be clearly stated to them that if you don't do what we say, we'll go back with what we came with. So that you don't endanger the volunteers.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Quite interesting. Now, the palliatives. You said the government can only do what it can. They can't do for everybody. Is this whole idea of palliatives, is it sustainable? We don't know how long we have till this coronavirus thing is ended. We don't know if there's another one that is going to come. One day we heard about Wuhan or Hantan virus or something. We don't know. My brother, we don't know what the future holds. Is there something else that the billions that we are budgeting to give people 1 tube of yam, 4 packs of Indomie, I'm just being, I'm not saying that's what's been given, and all these little things, be it in River State or outside River State. Is there something else? You're an economist, you're a banker, a financial person, is there something that we can do that will be smarter and wiser? For instance, someone said, let's use the money to start massive agricultural, projects that will yield some food massively around River State in the next 6, 7, 8 months, instead of sharing food now. So what do you say to this kind of idea?
For me, first of all, everything is grounded. Yesterday, Ross Alabo just showed us a map of the number of tanker vessels with crude oil stock out there in the high seas with nobody buying them.
My, oh my.
Nigeria is going for more domestic and offshore loans. So we're highly leveraged. So states might want to borrow. Now, if you're going to borrow, how are you going to repay? Because nobody knows what's going to happen. We don't know where we're going to. We don't know how long this is going to happen. And we don't know the consequences of all this motion that people are driving up and down. We don't know what the consequences are yet. It's because now there's community transmission. So we don't know anything. So if I was the governor, I'll set up an economic team to begin to, because River State had the governor inherited a major, very robust agricultural infrastructure, which most states didn't have. If he had invested in it like what we spoke severally on it, by now Rivers State will have been making billions of naira. Meanwhile, I would suggest that he sets up an economic team, and that economic team will begin to aggregate beyond just buying up now.
Mm-hmm.
This is good. Let them just keep doing what they do. But we need to begin to put down to say, but how do you farm without exposing people to danger? But certain things can be done, yeah, even if they need to suit up. Let's begin to buy up the fishes and begin to create the farms and just begin to put structures in place. Like, we need to begin to think like people. There's a pigeon parable that says that he that is down fears no fall. That you're down.
Yeah.
So what do we do?
Yeah.
So when you're down, you cannot drive your BMW because people will lynch you. So we need to begin to engage the communities. Which I'm not gonna start that fish farm. We'll send on our finger lakes. Mona begin plant here. Make rainy season don't come. Make gonna begin to. Let's just begin to. There must be a team. The Ministry of Agriculture, River State Sustainable Development, and Fadama, Feed the School to like all those groups must begin to push the extension workers out and call back the RSSDA people. If it were me, to begin to go out and begin to fight to prepare for hunger, just in case this journey takes us a little longer than we estimate.
Wow, this is an interesting point.
There are online farmers groups like the ones being handled like Nabo and Makridem and so on. You need to begin to coordinate with them. Yes, and begin to position yourself. Because if states are locking down, even now they've given an order that food trucks must be allowed to pass. But how long can you do when people are also using it to smuggle themselves into town, cities? So there has to be a plan for tomorrow. And the people who will survive are those who will plan. Yes. And when the chips are down, all the sentiments about you talk here, you talk there will not count for nothing. It is what you do and what plan you have that will matter.
Interesting, very interesting. There's a lot to talk about based on what you said. We'll come to that in a bit. But if you're watching, it's still Late Night Talk right here on one of the Extra Step Initiative is a man of many parts, Mr. Eugene Abels. I almost called you Comrade Eugene Abels. I had to correct myself. We're asking you for your thoughts on the coronavirus measures taken to combat coronavirus, prevent its spread in River State, one of which happens to be, lockdown in certain parts of River State. But we're looking at other issues to do with palliatives. You have to take a tally of the poor so that when you get there, you know that you have something at least to hold on to. But he said the government of River State hasn't done a bad job, but, it could be better. Okay. Also, in terms of the economy of River State, Eugene, you said you saw a map of those vessels, oil vessels stuck at sea without, anyone to buy the crude. I think in time might come where they have to start even paying people to take the crude because it's costing them. We never thought we'd get to this point in the world. You've said we need to set up an economic team to reform the economy, especially in the area of agriculture. Now, you mentioned the RSSDA, and I'm curious as to why you went to the RSSDA. One would think that agency is really gone, dead. Staff probably have left or demotivated and all that. Do they really have a role to play in this season?
If you need to go for a football match, you bring your first 11. All you need to do is call them back and apologize to them and pay them whatever you're owing them. They'll come to work.
And what would they
love their jobs?
Okay, interesting.
A lot of them will have moved on to other things, but this is what they do. Yes, they do, because agriculture has different parts of it. There's the technological parts. There's the parts of extension services that are provided. So, but if you reach out to them,
okay, it's still Late Night Talking. Kofi Bartels, and we're trying to get back Eugene Abel's a bit of a network issue. But I'm sure that once we can get Eugene, we'll continue with this conversation. But if you'd like to be a part of it, I'd like to hear from you. So please call 080 620 Let's see if we can get Eugene Abels back on the line. Talk with me, myself, and I, Kofi Bartels.